Hello. Today we are going to review comparing our fractions and a few methods on how to do that, and then we're going to get right into something called mixed numbers and improper fractions, which should be interesting, hopefully. So we'll start with just comparing. We'll review our signs really quickly. The sign is less than. It's got kind of that L shape. It's not quite, but it's pretty close. This sign is greater than, okay, and this sign is equal to. And honestly, if we don't remember the names, we can at least put the right symbol down, because we always know that the alligator or the crocodile or whatever animal you want these to be always eats the biggest number. Okay, so if we are looking at this fraction, 3/4, and comparing it to this fraction, 3/5, we know that they're not equal because the numbers aren't exactly the same. If we look at just the numbers themselves, we would think, oh, 3/5, that's got to be bigger. It's got a 5 in it, right? But as we learned in class, when we look, if the numerators are the same and the denominators are different, the one with the smaller denominator has the larger fractional part. And we can prove that. We could draw a picture. So we'll draw a rectangle, and we want to divide it into fourths. And then we'll shade in 3 of them, like that. That's 3 out of 4, 3/4. And then we'll draw 3/5. Try and make our rectangle the same size. And we'll divide that into fifths. Okay, and we'll shade in 3 of them. And if we look here, the rectangles aren't quite the same size. It looks like 3/4 does look just a little bit bigger, but not a huge amount. It's kind of hard to tell with the picture that you've drawn. Usually you'll be given a model, but if you're not, you can always use our handy dandy cross multiplication, just up here. Start at the bottom or go into the top. 4 times 3 equals 12. 5 times 3 equals 15. It's bigger, 15 or 12. Well, we know that 15 is bigger, so that means that this fraction, 3/4, gets eaten. It's bigger. 3/4 is bigger than 3/5. Just remember, check your work. If you need to use a set model, an array model, or array model, or a number line to do your multiplication, that's fine. But it's an easy strategy to always get these right. Okay, so now, for the sake of time, let's move on to improper fractions and mixed numbers. When we're doing fractional parts, we sometimes had fractions like this. 7 out of 4, 7/4. Now, this is called an improper fraction. And that's because it's just not written right. And there's nothing really wrong with it. It's not mathematically wrong. It's just not written correctly. Because we know that 4 out of 4 is what? It's a whole. This equals one whole whatever. If we're talking brownies, cookies, pizzas, candy bars, shirts, whatever. If the numbers on the numerator is the same as the denominator, then it equals one whole. Now, we need to convert this into a mixed number. And there are a few ways that we can do that. The first one I'm going to show you is we just draw 7/4 out. Okay? So we have one shape, and it's fourths, so it can't have more than 4 fractional parts. So we make 4 parts. We've got 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. That's our whole, one whole. And now that's only 4/4, so we need to draw another shape, the same size. And we need to divide it into parts. And we've got 5/4, 6/4, and 7/4, just like that. Now, if we had 8/4, we would do this last one. But for now, this is what's happening. So basically, these are all shaded in, like this, and this is showing 7/4. Now, to make this a mixed number, we need to figure out how many holes we have. And if we look, we only have this one complete piece. So that means we have one hole, and then we've got 1, 2, 3 more fourths left over. So it means we have one hole and 3/4 of another one left. This is a mixed number. It's 1 3/4 of whatever. Cookies, crackers, bananas, anything. Okay? So we went from a improper fraction to a mixed fraction just by drawing out all of our pieces. All right? So it's kind of weird. It's kind of confusing at first. I get it. Another way we could have done this, let's go back to 7/4, is divide. Because remember we talked about how this fraction bar is really just division. This really says that this is 7 divided by 4. Well, we know that 4 doesn't go into 7 an equal number of times. It doesn't. If we draw 4 circles, we try to count till we get to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one doesn't have an equal number. So it doesn't go equally, but we can divide it and we'll get something called a remainder. Okay, so if we do 7 divided by 4, 4 would go into there one time, and it would have 3 left over. And that would be 3/4. And that was how we get our mixed number again. Don't worry too much about this. We'll talk more about this later. For now, let's stick to the pictures and the fractional pieces. So let's try a different one. Okay, let's try 6/5. Okay. So again, this is an improper fraction. The numerator is bigger than the denominator, and we just don't do that. Like, it's useful sometimes, but we don't want it in third grade. So first step, I would draw fifths. We've got one whole like this, and we want 5 parts like that. And so we want to shade in, we can only shade in 5 of them. So here's 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 5/5. And unfortunately, we need more fifths. So we draw another piece like this, and we divide it into fifths, just like that. And the next one is 6/5. So we don't need to do anything with these others because they're not part of our fraction. They're not shaded in. Okay, so we know that this is shaded, 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 and this is shaded. So that gives us our 6/5. Now if we look, we have one whole. So that's one whole, and then we've got this left over. And this is only 1/5 of this other whole. So it's 1 and 1/5, just like that. Okay. And again, we could do division and things like that, but we don't need to. We'll work on that later. Okay, let's do one more, and then you're going to go try it out on your own in an IA quiz. Let's try 3 halves. We'll do this one just a little bit differently. Okay, so I'm just going to draw halves. So I've got 1/2 right here, plus another 1/2 right here. And we know that 1/2 plus 1/2 is 2 halves, which makes a whole. So right here we already have one whole. And then we have another half. So that's 1, 2, 3 halves. Right? That's 3 halves. And so the 2 halves together make one whole. And this half that's left over gives us 1 and 1/2. We moved from an improper fraction to a mixed fraction. All right. We'll keep practicing this. For now, there's an interactive achievement quiz for you. Just log into Google Classroom, and it's 10 questions. Good luck. Work hard. Show all your work in your math journal, please.